In this tutorial, I'll be showing you how to use levels as a way of making an adjustment to a picture to fix how the values look in the picture. First off, we have our picture open in Photoshop, and we have our layers palette visible. The first thing we'll need to do is click on the half white, half black circle to create an adjustment layer for levels. Right? We have our adjustment layer in there. It's affecting anything that's below that adjustment layer. And here's the properties box for levels. There's a few different things that we're seeing in here. This is the histogram for the picture. So it's showing us where information occurs in the picture based on dark value, midtones, and light values in the picture. So if the histogram is higher in a certain part, that means that there's more information that occurs in that part of the picture. So right here in the really dark area, we don't have any sort of things going on in the histogram, so that means that we don't have any of that kind of value in the picture. Whereas right about here we have a lot of information, not a whole lot in the center range, and then a lot way on the top, the high end, so in the highlights. And you can see in the picture that there's a lot of really bright areas, and there's quite a lot in the midtones. What we're doing for this kind of adjustment is compressing where the picture is going to start reading value. So right now it's saying that the dark values would be all the way on this edge. But if I move the black arrow right to where information starts, what we're telling the picture to do is to pretend that information in this area of the photo is actually the darkest part of the picture. So as you can see, now we have a really dark area as well as really light area and midtones. If we move beyond that area, anything that's on this side of that arrow is no longer present in the picture, so it just turns to complete blackness. So this would be moving the arrow a little bit too far. We don't really see anything in the lines of the chairs here, only some really highlight areas occur. So you don't tend to want to move the arrow past any information just because you'll be losing it in the picture. Alright, the light arrow is going to change how the brightest areas of the picture are affected. So by moving this, you'll notice the more I move it, the brighter the picture becomes. Because what we're telling the edit here is that we want to pretend that all the information in this area is just complete white. So you see, the more I move this, the more white the picture becomes. And if I put all the arrows on top of each other, the photo is just white. In this photo, I don't think I'm going to move the white arrow very much. Maybe just a little bit. Alright, this gray arrow is talking about the midtones. So that's everything that's right in the center between the lightest areas and the darkest areas of the photo. By moving this back and forth, I'm going to be adjusting the contrast in the picture. I don't want to move it so far that it looks too dark. Moving it towards the white arrow would be making the photo too dark overall. Moving it a little bit to the left here, towards the black arrow, is going to make it so you can see more in the shadows, but we don't want it to look too unnatural either. So I'd say right about here would be a good spot to stop for this picture. Down here in the output levels, I don't tend to use this quite as much, but if you do want to change it so that the photo overall is not going to have any amount of really dark areas, you could move the black arrow over. And the same goes for the white arrow. So you're just saying that you only want the photo to show values in between these arrows. And if I were to combine the arrows on top of each other, all I would really have is gray. So I don't tend to use output levels quite as much. I just tend to work within the histogram, moving the arrows right below the histogram. Alright, that's a basic overview of levels. You can use curves as a way of doing this type of editing as well, which I'll be showing in the next tutorial.